Good afternoon on what is a warm, bright and sunny day. It is Sunday the 18th of May and I'm in the reading nook with a nice hot cup of tea and box to continue unboxing. And what I'm going to pull out of here is a copy of The Land of the Eight Cities. This is a supplement for Dungeon Crawl Classics Lankhmar. Now, Dungeon Crawl Classics is the retro clone published by Goodman Games, based upon content from the Appendix N of the Dungeon Master's Guide for Advanced Dungeons & Dragons First Edition, which of course includes the Lankhmar stories, the stories about Frefrid and Game Mouser by Fritz Leiber. And so we have Dungeon Crawl Classics, which is essentially a city-based campaign setting published by Goodman Games, and all the adventures up to date have been set in the city itself. This supplement is a little bit different. So, north of the Lankhmar lies the Land of the Eight Cities, a young realm lying in the shadows of the Great Forest and rich in natural resources. This barely tamed wilderness is rife with opportunities for adventure and riches, but also contains hitherto unknown dangers. Nevertheless, for the adventurous who've worn out their welcome in Lankhmar, the forest land is an appealing place to escape their enemies and the city of the Black Toga. This work is based upon an unpublished manuscript written by Fritz Leiber, one never before seen outside of his personal papers and discovered during a research trip to the University of Houston Library. For the first time in decades, new information, creatures and even gods, all created by Leiber, are presented for your use in Dungeon Crawl Classics Lankhmar campaign. You'll find details on the people, places, customs and history of the lands of 8 cities, as well as plenty of inspiration for adventures to place there. It's the perfect resource for when the Thieves Guild is breathing down your players' necks and they need a place to lie low. Also included in this book is a report of the author's University of Houston research trip and select photos of the personal papers and possessions of Fritz Leiber, Harry Otto Fischer, and others housed in the library's special collections department. These images and background information will interest fans of Leiber's creative genius, regardless of whether they are gamers, readers, or both. So, this is actually runs to 36 pages, so it's actually probably about double the length of your average Dungeon Crawl Classics Lankhmar supplement or scenario. Nevertheless, it's a little bit different. So we've still got the kind of standard advert on the inside page, and then we have Mysteries of the Great Forest, The Land of the Eight Cities sourcebook. We've got an introduction and contents. There's no background or anything like that, and there's no frontispiece of artwork which you would normally have on that page in a scenario. But here we have a bit more open piece of artwork, basically grayscale black on white, more standard piece. And we've got a guide to section 1, overview of the forest land, its history, people, government, gods, and so on, and the relations with the other nations nearby. Because the Land of the Eight Cities is a relatively young region, because it used to be part of sort of like the Lankhmar influence was strong until essentially the 8 cities broke away. So you've got that history given here, explanation of how commerce works in the region, and we have descriptions of the 8 cities themselves. We've still got general notes on them, features of the 8 cities, and then we start off with Lankhmar, Ilikving, Klegnar, Kvaknar. About a page, but just roughly half a page, 3/4 of a page each. You have a section on the overlords of the 8 cities. So you've got sort of like, you've got the persons in charge detailed, Mlugnar detailed, Ulhrusp, Ulkrut. These names are fantastic. And so on, and last ending with all plurns, a rather nice illustration of one of those cities. That's probably all plurns. Section 3 is Secrets of the Forest. So these include the Gladiator of the Mad Duke, Kiliosho tribesmen, and you've got some bear people. And that's interesting because Lankhmar is not a fantasy setting with much in the way of non-human intelligent species, certainly not anthropomorphic ones. So there we have an example of one of the bear people, a pack bear, essentially doing the same kind of job as your as your donkey would, or your horse and so on. Got a list of all the new plants and new benefits and dooms. Benefits and dooms are sort of like, is a little advantage and disadvantage, which the player characters will accrue during play. And the little throwaway things. We've got patrons of the 8 cities, so we've got these are going to be the gods, and these include the gods of the forest. Including all of their spells, the possible patron taints, and spell burns, and the same again for the red god, which is your bloody red god, of course. And one of the aspects of playing Dungeon Core Classics Lankhmar is at the end of the day, once you've done a burglary, broken into a temple or something, and that's the sort of subject of the other scenarios, you go off and carouse, wine, women and song, and you gain small benefits from that, and that can lead to other adventures. So you've got carousing in the land of the 8 cities. You've got a table of possible events when you basically decide to have some downtime. Okay, and then section 4 is an introductory adventure, The Tooth of No Ombrusk. And this is not really, this is set on the edge of the land of the 8 cities. It's a vault of the Tooth of No Ombrusk, basically beneath an abandoned fort, stroke lighthouse, and it's really designed to get your player characters to that location. It's all right as far as I recall. I've had a look at this before. It's a ruined watchtower to explore. Part of it, sort of, it's got dungeons that are partially underwater, and that's kind of what they're after. One almost like a scrimshaw tooth, and they're being followed by a priest who wants it as much as they do. So the priest strikes, and then a guidance here to the end of the adventure. You always have that at the end of a Dungeon Core Classics adventure. So you've got adventure in here as well as the source book. And then Appendix A is the Fritz Leiber Papers collection. And this is author Michael Curtis's expedition, to the result of his expedition to the Library of Houston and the Special Papers section there, where Fritz Leiber's papers are held. And you've got some fantastic, absolutely fantastic photographs to go alongside his recollections and his write-up of that trip. So even sort of like sample, sort of like maps and illustrations, and even a section from a letter from Guiding Games, which is an early publisher of wargaming content that Gary Gygax was involved in, and other maps. So if you're a fan of Fritz Leiber and his Lankhmar stories, this is a really great article. You've got a sword that's in the collection as well, and various papers. Absolutely worth reading, I think. If you read any of the fiction and want to know a little bit more, and especially if you're a role player and you're enjoying the series, this really does add a bit of depth and detail, just to the author and his creations. And lastly, we've got an advert for again with the band, but with just a pair of the classic quartet of Dungeon Core Classics adventurers there, much in the vein of Frafrid and Grey Mouser, who famously make their own run from the city of Lankhmar to the land of the 8 cities, and there they are, having done the same similar kind of run. So that is Dungeon Core Classics, the land of the 8 cities, number 8, a source book and level 3 adventure. So I really kind of like this book. It's got lots of extra detail and flavour to the world, expanding it in an unexpected direction, because it's primarily been all about Lankhmar and the city itself. And that's no bad thing. This adds sort of options for the judge if she wants to take it elsewhere. Anyway, so thanks for watching another unboxing in the Nook. If you enjoyed this, then please do click on the like button down below. And of course, if you want to add any comments or feedback, I do appreciate you taking the time to post those. And lastly, if you want to be alerted to get more unboxings of the Nook, where you'll see me out here with a box containing typically a book or game, or in this case, a scenario for Dungeon Crawl Classics, which I will then talk about to the best extent of my knowledge for roughly 10 minutes or so, all of course accompanied by a nice hot cup of tea. Then please do click on the subscribe button down below. Thanks again for watching another unboxing in the Nook. I will be back again soon with another one. Bye for now.